and welcome back once again to After the Credits. Today we finally got around to seeing something fairly new. It's been out a couple weeks, might be close to a month, I'm not sure. No, I don't think it's quite been a month. Maybe. I think it came out like towards the end of August or start of September, and we're almost at the end of September now, so maybe a month. But either way, I finally got around to seeing it because it's still in the theater. Yes, I actually went to the theater finally again. And that is When the Bough Breaks. Now, I remember seeing a preview for this a while back when I was watching one of the other thousands of films that I've reviewed on here. And I was like, oh, that looks like it could be interesting. So I put it on my list of potential things to watch. And then when it came out, I was kind of like, wait, what is this about? Because I honestly couldn't remember it. And I read a short synopsis of it, and I was like, yeah, that's not ringing to me at all. So I was like, well, it was on my list of potential watches, so something about it caught my attention, so let's check it out anyway. So I went and saw it, and I quickly remembered what it was in the preview that I liked about it, but at the same time, I don't know why I put it on my list of things to watch, because I kind of knew what to expect from it, and that was that it was going to be very long and drawn out and kind of boring, taking way too long to get to certain things, and I was right. So I kind of checked out for most of the movie, unfortunately. So for those of you who don't know what the movie was about, it's about this couple. This is a pretty much all black cast, I believe, except for like a handful of people at the guy's work, but the main characters are all African American. And I do have a reason for bringing that up, but I'll mention that in a few minutes. So this guy and his wife can't conceive a child, so they've gone to a fertility clinic, and they've gathered like eggs from her, semen from him, whatever, and they're looking for a surrogate to carry their child. So they go through some interview processes and whatnot, and they find a woman who they think is a right match for them. She really wants to be a surrogate to help out someone else in need, so they agree to let her be the surrogate. Turns out that her boyfriend is sort of abusive, so the guy kind of gets a little up in arms about that because this is their last viable embryo, and if they lose this one, they're done. They can't, there's no more surrogates, there's nothing they can do. They just won't have any children. So he kind of gets defensive of the girl, and he's like, look, he's just going to keep hurting you, and we don't want to lose our child, so you're going to come live with us. There's a little bit of a war with the guy and the boyfriend, and it's all kind of over jealousy. We find out that the boyfriend's kind of forcing her to be a surrogate to get the money, but at the same time, it seems like she's really wanting to do it, like she really cares about this couple and the baby and everything. So the guy's taken care of, and the girl moves in with the family. And of course, it kind of turns into what you would expect it to. The wife's not around that much. She's out of town for work and whatnot, and the surrogate kind of falls for the guy and kind of starts making her move, like, I'm carrying your baby, not your wife, you don't really love her, you could get rid of her and we can be together and raise our baby together. But of course the guy loves his wife, and he doesn't tell his wife, so eventually it leads to that standard confrontation of, oh, he forced himself on me and all this and this. One thing I will give this movie credit for is the wife actually isn't completely stupid in this one. Where normally in a situation like this, the wife would believe the girl and then later find out that the girl was lying all along, but by then it's too late. But in this one, the wife's like, look, I sort of believe you, or I want to believe you, but, there's more going on here than what you're telling me. So he opens up, tells her everything that happened, and the girl goes missing. So they're trying to locate her because she still has the baby. And they go and talk to the agency, and they're like, oh, it's sad, but occasionally it does happen. Sometimes the nut cases slip through, whatever. But you really have no legal repercussion here because in the eyes of the law, as long as she's carrying the baby, it's her baby, and she has to legally give up the rights to you guys before you're legally the parents, even though it's your embryo and your sperm. They go on this hunt of trying to track her down, eventually finding her. She has the baby, then disappears again, then there's another confrontation trying to get the baby back, blah, blah, blah. And it really just plays out about how you would expect it to. You may be saying, all of this sounds really familiar, and that's really why I brought up that most of the players in this are African American, is because I really feel like I've seen this movie before, but not with this cast. It seems like something I've seen before, starring probably a dominantly white cast, and this just kind of seems like a all-black cast remake, kind of like what they recently did with Annie and things like that, where they're kind of taking old white movies and recasting them with black people. Another perfect example is Peoples, I think it was, or Meet the Peoples or whatever, where it was just kind of a black cast version of Meet the Parents. So yeah, this seemed really familiar to me. Like, as I'm watching it, I'm like, oh, this is so long and drawn out and nothing's really happening. And I kind of know where everything's going to go because I've seen, if not this movie before, something similar to it. So I honestly don't know if this is a remake. It might be. I don't care enough to look into it. Yeah, that's the only reason I brought up that it was an all-black cast, is because I feel like I've seen this movie before, but probably with white people in it. So what did I think of the movie overall? Like I said, it was about what you expect. If it sounds familiar to you, it probably is. You can probably guess everything that's going to happen in it, because I did. There's no real major twist. Anything that was supposed to be a twist just isn't. Not much else to say about it other than that. So what would I give it as far as a star rating? I'd have to give it, I don't know, maybe like a 2.5 now. Honestly, I gave Rob Zombie's 31 a 2.5, and I actually kind of enjoyed that more than I enjoyed this. At least that one kind of, even though it was predictable, it kind of kept you entertained to a degree, where this one was just kind of like so predictable, and the drawn out parts where more stuff could have been happening. It's just kind of like, get on with it already. So yeah, I think I'm going to just give this one a 2. It's a standard movie. It's possibly something that's been remade with a different cast to appeal to a different audience, and it wasn't that good. It looked like, from the trailer, it looked like it was going to be more than what it was, and it ended up being what I expected. Like I said, I don't know why it ended up on my possible movies to watch list, but it was, so I watched it, and here's my review of it. Hey, you gotta have something for the bottom 12 list at the end of the year, right? Can't just see everything I like. So yeah, that's basically it. Give it a 2. Nothing much else to say about it than that, so that's it for this episode. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Remember to like, comment, subscribe, share the video. The links are in the description, and until next time, we'll see you after the credits.